In today's video, we're going to cover a conversion technique for e-commerce businesses or Shopify sites, if you're running a Shopify site, by adding a simple little change to your product pages. You can actually get at least 10% more conversions or conversion rate from the same exact traffic you are driving to your product pages right now, or to your site in general, if you want to say that. Which that technique is, well, of course, I'm going to cover it in detail, but this is, in short, adding the words most popular item or top selling item to your product pages, kind of like in the upper right-hand corner of your main product image on your e-commerce product pages, in order to get this increase in conversion rates, okay? So this is obviously very simple of a technique to employ. Anybody can do this. I actually got this idea inherently through Amazon. On Amazon, you can actually see the same thing. On certain products, there's top selling product listed there on particular products, and those products naturally sell a lot more because of it. So naturally, items sell well, so they get the label added. It's an algorithm that decides which products get that label, yes. But then once it gets it, it naturally just becomes even more explosive in terms of its growth. We can't control, it's hard to obviously get there on Amazon if you're also selling on Amazon too. But on our e-commerce websites, we can obviously arbitrarily add this to any item that we want. Yes, it's a little bit of a gray area to label an item top selling when it technically isn't, but what does the word top even mean? It's an arbitrary term in it itself that doesn't really mean anything. Just like best or number one or whatnot. And so what I'm telling you here is to do with this strategy is to apply this to our top highest profit margin product that we have, so that the sales that we get is going to be funneled towards the items that make us the most money. Why not do that? That only makes logical sense, right? And then on top of that, it will just also get more conversion rate on the traffic that you're driving to the site as a whole. That it also will do. I'm going to talk about an actual case study where we did this with a brain supplement product company on individual items, where we were able to increase the conversion rate to the traffic to those pages. And then with that also, the key thing here being able to actually raise our price in conjunction with adding this label to the product pages and not taking a hit on our conversion rate increase that we got. So whereas we were starting out with a 24% increase in profitability, that dropped to 20% still, even with 10% product price increase to go along with it. So it actually will bolster, well, in addition to just getting them to buy at a higher rate, it'll make them more apt to pay more for the product itself on top of it, which is a very interesting thing that we obviously figured out, and it's a great thing, which is why I'm sharing it with you here on today's video. So with that said, I'm going to get into the content here. This technique, basically in summary here, like I was mentioning before. Now, if you just sell like one item on your website, this spot here in the upper right-hand corner of your primary product image on your product pages, I would reserve this, as we found that kind of converts the best, is your average review rating on Trustpilot or wherever you got third-party reviews at. Why? Because, I don't know, it just gets the best conversions. More than you're going to get saying it's the top product when you only sell one product, because people aren't dumb, I guess, basically, is the easy, smart way of explaining this. But if you have a store where you sell multiple items, particularly when there's multiple items where there's in the same category. In this case study that we had, brain supplements, or it could be, parts for a boat, or it could be, pottery wheels, if you're selling those. If you have 15 pottery wheels you sell, if you add top selling product in that particular spot on your product page on one item, that item is now going to convert significantly better than it was before. Put you in position to also raise the price on that item. It'd be able to get you more sales on an item that normally has good margins, like I said, but then also you can actually raise the price a little bit most of the time on top of everything else. in that spot, if you're selling multiple items, you want to get some more profits out of your same traffic you have driving to your site, you can put on there most popular item, though in some cases, you're going to get a little bit more out of this strategy if you add product of the month, as we've tried a couple times now. Some cases, though, you should try also testing, and this should be like an ongoing split test that once you single out the item on your site where you want to get more out of the sales from that traffic, that page as you can, you single out the product to do it with. You could also try testing highest reviewed product or top selling item itself. So it's just different kind of ways to phrase the same thing, except for, of course, highest reviewed product, which that's a little different than the other three. But you get what I'm trying to say here. I mean, ultimately the conclusion is you're helping the user decide which item is the best. Naturally, you want to make money, so you're going to tell the user whatever makes sure the most money is the best. And why would you not want to do that? So try these different things here. Now, this technique does create some cannibalization of your other product sales. So whereas it increases the sales of a certain product, it also will many times decrease the sales you're going to get from other items naturally, okay? However, when you could put this on your top margin item, and you were going to lose 20% of the sales and everything else and get 20% more sales on the top item that you have, or on one item itself, and that one item has higher margins, it has 20% higher margins or whatever, you've got a net gain here. So, and that's about what you should expect from executing the strategy on your e-commerce site. On top of that, like I was mentioning before, if that weren't enough, you can also probably raise the price on the item that you're saying is your top selling item and actually get even more margin out of it. Or if you have the same margin on all the products in your store, you mention that this particular item here is your top selling item, and then raise the price, now it becomes your top margin item, and you're now going to get a higher percentage of the sales to go through that top selling item. That's more so going to be the situation that most of you guys are in, and what I would recommend you actually do to employ and take advantage of this particular strategy on your e-commerce site. So with that said, as mentioned, I was going to go through a case study here on today's video. We had a brain supplement supplier, had a bunch of products that will allow clarity of thought and eliminating brain fog and so on and so forth. We employed this particular strategy, most popular item, had it on one particular item. What we found was we had a 24% increase in sales volume on this particular item that we drove a lot of traffic to it. We picked this item because of our Google shopping campaigns, that was getting a good majority of the traffic driven to it. And that was just because Google found a lot of people wanted this particular item out of the other items because they're on their side through their own testing and machine learning process that they have that drives all their ads. Certain items get a higher click-through rate. They want to make the most money they can and help their users find what they want the best they can so they come and click on ads in the future on Google. This item was getting the most traffic, so of course, naturally, we want to add it to this particular item to get the most out of the strategy, as is should you. That said, that's an amazing result in and itself. If you have any experience with trying to do split testing in your site, you know how much of a 24% increase in conversion rate that actually is. It's hard to find something that's going to get you that big of a jump in conversion rate with so little action, we'll just say. Secondarily to that, though, the bigger headline here is we thought, okay, well, why don't we, because we never actually didn't try this before until I got to where we did it for this company. We actually raised the product price by 10% to see, okay, playing around with this, now that we know that this item converts like crazy now, relatively speaking, let's try to raise the price on the item and see if that deters the people that we now have in addition to what we had before coming in, deters them, and are we going to go back to zero in terms of our conversion rate increase? And even if we did, if we had 10% higher price, it would still be worth it. Or would it keep most of the increase in conversions that we got? What we found was we still kept all of the conversion increase that we basically got. We did lose some, obviously, which naturally, anytime you raise your price, you're going to get less conversion. Question is, can you raise your price more then what the conversion rate's going to drop. And that's where split testing price comes in. But normally, when you increase price, your conversions are going to decrease, and it's probably going to be a wash unless you're grossly mispriced on a particular item. This particular technique compels people to want to buy that item so much that they're just more apt to absorb a higher price, or there's more perceived value on the item, therefore they're willing to pay more, is the better, easier way to say this. And so with that, whereas we got a 24% increase in conversion rate by offering and mentioning most popular item on this particular item in this case study, in this example, we kept a 20% increase versus the sales conversion rate we had before, once we already increased the price by 10%. So we even made even more money from this technique by increasing the product price, given we didn't get quite the conversion rate increase that we had without raising the price, but with a 10% increase in price, which increases our product margins by about 25%. Now we have basically double the increase in profits that we're getting from this item and the traffic we have driving to it from using this particular technique. So if you're going to use this technique, in other words, you should also test along with it, trying to figure out how much you can raise your price to go along with it to increase your margins on that product. So you could take two angles from this, as we have reviewed on this video. You can either find the item that has the best margins, use this technique to get more sales out of it, or you could find an item that the margin on all the items that you have are the same, and you take that item and you apply this technique to it, and then you try to raise your price and keep the gains that you normally would get with it, so that it becomes more profitable than it would be than if you just kept your price the same in that particular item. Now knowing people are willing to pay more money inherently for items that are best-selling product, so to say, or that message tied to or attached to that item. So anyway, that's the case study I wanted to share with you here today, aka conversion technique for an e-commerce business that you can apply to your business today. Start making more money from a good chunk of the ad traffic you have coming into your site today, given you can pick the most traffic product on your website to apply this technique to, and probably have half of the traffic you have coming to your site now convert 10, 20, 30% better with 30, 40, 50% more profit margins long term by the time you factor in the price increase that you can do that goes along and with it. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. If you have any questions about anything I covered here today, or any other ad related question for that matter, you can always leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. I'll use my 15 years of ad experience to try to help you put you on the right track with what you're doing as best as I can, as just a way of saying thank you for helping the channel grow. If you are looking for a channel to subscribe to figure out how to make millions of dollars running ads for your business on an ongoing basis, this is the channel you want to subscribe to, as this is all I do is ad strategy all day long for through dozens of ad accounts that I personally manage. Most of the information you're going to find on YouTube and on the web is from people who are selling courses who don't really manage any ads, which they pretend to, but they actually don't. Or they run an agency and they don't manage ads, and they also still don't manage ads. All the information that comes from these people is second, third-hand information. I'm actually 40 hours a week in the trenches doing ad strategy, testing the campaigns that work, that don't work, to give you the real information about what really works. So if you're serious about making money for yourself online, running ads for your business, this is the channel you actually want to subscribe to, and you should subscribe right now. If you like the channel, you'll also like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where I have step-by-step advice on how to use actual specific techniques to increase, like this, how to increase the profitability of your business through running ads, using strategies that we know work time and time again, with screenshots and with step-by-step instructions to execute these strategies. If you like the channel, you're going to love my blog even more. I promise you that. So you should definitely check that out as well. With that said, I also want to say that I run an ad agency. The name of that agency is Guaranteed PPC. We offer our clients work on their ad campaigns where we set up and do all the work that I mentioned on this channel for them to get them the results that they want. But what makes our agency different than any other agency out there is we do not charge our clients fees until we get you the results that we tell you we can get you up front. That is, if we say we can get double your sales, we do not take any fees until we've done that up front. We're the only agency out there that does anything like that. The only catch is we got to know we can get great results with your campaigns up front, and would tell you that up front whether we can or can't get results with your campaigns, and therefore don't work with just any client. But if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. Be happy to look over what you have and see if the potential is there to work together and how much results we could actually get for you is what I would tell you up front. With that said, if you are not into having an ad agency work on your campaigns and fully manage your campaigns, a lot of people aren't, what you can do is you can actually take on our campaign templates that we already have that are proven templates that you can use in a number of different spaces. If we've worked in a niche area or niche business that we've already worked in already, which we've worked in over 100 different niche markets in the last 10 years running Guarantee PPC, you could use the exact same ad templates, sales funnels, landing page templates, everything that we develop for your market to get the results in your market, to guarantee results for our clients, and just copy and paste everything into your own ad account so you get the same results for yourself. We sell those for a one-time fee, and there's no way you're going to figure out all the same stuff we had to figure out over time for cheaper and in less time that that it takes to just simply buy the campaign templates from us and apply what we have that works into your own campaigns or into your own accounts. Of course, we tell you the results, what you're going to get with their templates up front, so there's no question whether the value is there. We've got people that use these templates to start other businesses, that are curious about getting into e-commerce, they've never done it before. They'll use our templates to start a business selling a certain product that our clients have sold in a different country and they sell it in their country, or they'll use our templates to start lead generation businesses selling leads to people in a certain niche area where our leads are very cheap, so they can play an arbitrage game with the leads that they can generate with the templates that we have to generate leads for a certain cost in a certain niche field. If you're interested in any of those opportunities, you can also reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.